Welcome, welcome, everyone. Today, you are here to see how a proper author uses AI to write a book. Now, when I say proper author, I really mean a prolific author. That's if you use this method. You don't necessarily have to use this method, but this is a method I use when I use AI to supplement my writing and to make it all go and help me work through blocks. Now, structuring this kind of presentation today, I realize there's a lot of different questions different people will have. If you have any questions that I haven't accounted for, please put them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. By the way, this is me. I'm Onyeabor. You need probably know who I am. So this is basically what I'm going to be talking to you guys today is about how I use AI to write my books and how I use that to really just make a big difference and to do my thing as I go about this whole author journey. So, what you're going to see now is how I use three essential programs for all my writing, all my business, everything I do. There's three programs, and I think everybody needs to pay for them. Here are the three programs here. You're going to see on the bottom of my taskbar, you're going to see Canva, you're going to see Loom. Obviously, Loom is how I'm recording with this with you right now. And then the actual big daddy one is ChatGPT right here, right from OpenAI. Now, if you don't know what ChatGPT is, right, ChatGPT is the AI that absolutely changed the game back at the end of 2022, right? And it's only been out for a little over a year, not even 2 years. It's not even a year and a half, like 18 months, not even like it's been like 15 months, and it completely changed everything. Now, I downloaded an extension called AIPRM, which we'll be using for all my workflows. That's not going to be super necessary for today, but if you want to understand what it is I do and how I do it, that's essentially the setup I do. This whole setup costs me about $50 a month. It's $20 for ChatGPT, $15 for Loom, $15 for Canva. That's it. And basically, you can do everything I do with my business, everything for that $50 a month. As a prolific author, I suggest you do that and just bite the bullet because it makes your life so much easier. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the actual writing portion of this. I'm going to get something. Actually, the camera's going to be a little shaky. Hopefully, you guys aren't clicking too much on me. This is on my lap right now, but hopefully, you're not paying too much attention to me, but to the course. So let's go forward and let's actually focus on first what I use to write. The first thing I use to write as Scrivener. I think it's one of the best word processors out there. If you guys want a tutorial on how to do Scrivener, let me know and I will absolutely make it. The Scrivener basically allows me to organize my books however I need, right? It's super powerful. And so right now, the book I'm working on is book two of Eliza and the Author, Two Worlds, One Dream, right? And that is going to be after the pre-sale that I'm doing for Eliza and the Author, which if you guys want to check that out, look in the link below. The first part of it is out is pretty much done, and that's what you guys are going to be getting, and it's releasing on April 20th. That's what all this is right here, right? It's just about 10,000 words. It's a picture kid book, um, but it's really made for adults to show people how you actually write a book. So, how do I go about using that idea, all this technology to write my book because I'm using AI to help speed me up. Well, let's start with some of the most basic questions that we get. And that's really just how do we go from the idea of something down the way to the concept, all the way to actually putting it out on page and making a book. Now, I'm going to show you how I do that for Eliza and the Author here, how I've done it in the past. Now, a lot of this stuff you guys don't understand. You need to be an actual writer. If you're like want just an instant like win button, like, hey, how can I like make a book without thinking and have it be a high quality book? The reality is like AI will only supplement or enhance what it's put into. Most people are mediocre to bad writers. So AI is only going to help you make mediocre to bad writing. Really, that's it. Now, I would say like, and ChatGPT on its own can write better. I would say confidently can outright about 70% of people. 70% of people cannot outright ChatGPT. ChatGPT on its best day couldn't outright me on my worst day. But that's because I believe I'm magnitudes better than this AI. But with my help, this AI can write just as good as me and it can help it write it out. Doesn't know how to yet. It might to one be able to one day, not today. Anyway, so let's talk about what the structure of how you actually build out a book. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I need to write a book. What do I start with? Okay, let's talk about where that ideation is. So literally, I started with ChatGPT and I said, hey, this is a conversation for a demo of how to use AI. This is a video idea, and I'm filming this video for you guys right now. It's like, how could you help me structure it? So ChatGPT gave me a structure, concept development, character creation, plot outlining, setting and world building, actually writing the darn thing, dialogue and description, feedback and revision, and then finally, final edits and polishing. Today, in this, I'm really going to talk to you guys about how I use ChatGPT for the first six. I don't honestly need ChatGPT for the first 3 to 4 settings. Like I've written books all on my own. So all ChatGPT really does is help me enhance and speed my process up at this point. Now, if you're a total noob and have no idea how to do this, this will help you. But this is where the AI is being understood as a tool and not a replacement for the writer, right? So, first, in terms of the concept, that's really bare bones. That I think almost requires a whole other video. But let's just say, so for Eliza and the Author, if you guys know, it was basically me. I started writing a short story for a girl that I knew, and that story evolved into Eliza and the Author. But I did that because of my own natural writing process, and getting a core idea isn't really too difficult for me. But if you wanted to, you could just be like ChatGPT, hey, give me an idea for a cool premise. Now, most of the time, I always say if you want to write a cool premise, there are 3 pillars: character, setting, and premise, right? You're like, wait, the premise is part of the premise? Yes, character, setting, premise. This is part of the prolific method, right? So if you have a cool character, setting, and premise, everything else can be taken care of. Now, if you legitimately don't know how to do that, you can just be like, hey, give me an idea for a cool character, right? So we'll have character right there, right? So they can come up with another random character, and then you just pick a random character. Then you can be like, give me an idea for a setting with this character. See, guys, I'm not even reading this right now because this is literally just me showing you how my brain works and what I do fairly instantly and I do naturally. But let's say you literally are too overburdened because you're taking care of your kids, you're sad and lonely, drinking whiskey at night, your cat keeps eating all your food. This is how ChatGPT can help you break out of those blocks, right? So it's like, give me an idea for a setting with this character, right? So let's pick one of these characters. We have Alexis Thorne, Artifact Hunter, Magic Technology. That sounds interesting. Ezra Winterborn, Alchemy, Modern Technology. Let's pick Ezra. So we'll do Ezra. So let's give me a main idea for a setting with this character. I don't know anything about Ezra. I just know he's 22. He's an alchemist detective, and he hails from a long line of alchemists, fiercely intelligent. It's doing all the work for me, guys. Now, if you're at the point where this is hard for you, come on, guys. It's doing all the work here. I don't recommend doing this. When I write, I don't need this. But if you do, this is okay. This is how we can use it. It did it in like 5 seconds. It was able to build a random character for you, right? And this is it doing all the thinking. This is ChatGPT doing all the thinking. Once again, this is how a proper author thinks, right? But let's say you're not a proper author and you don't know how to do it. This will do it for you, right? Because once again, it can outright 70% of the people watching this video. It can probably outright you. Honestly, it can probably outright you. It couldn't outright me, but it can probably outright you. Chances are 7 out of 10. If you're not and you think you're better than, I'd love to challenge. I'd love to see a comment. Let's do a write off. Let's do a challenge. I'd love to see it. Anyway, so give me an idea for a setting for this character. So when we talk about setting, it's just that we have our character, now we have our setting, right? So Ezra, he's this person. Now it's still going character concept, right? So I said, give me a setting with this character. See what I mean when I can outright that? It gave me another character. So I said, using Ezra. See, this is why an AI is not going to be able to, all right, you didn't understand what I said. But using Ezra, can you make a compelling world and setting he lives in? Now, some of the things you're like, how do I make a setting? What are some of the smaller things? I want background, lore, as well as history. And let's say, let's talk about a genre in a Western setting, right? Western setting. Then let's just do that. Okay, let's craft a compelling world for Ezra. So this is Ezra the Warden McRae, right? So he's a warden. This is his da 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 da. The setting is a nestle rugged valley, is a burgeoning frontier round at the crossroads. The atmosphere is a town of contrasts. It's bustling, flanked by saloons, trading posts, founding. Now, this is okay. So this is cool. There's different things, and they were drawn by fields of fertile land and hidden wealth, right? So this is all the history behind it, right? And this is the setting. It's like now I'll ask it, can you give me three samples of the setting in a appropriate image? Three appropriate image using style and tone that you choose. Because once again, AI is doing all the thinking for us because you're a noob author. Not you, specifically you, but whoever's doing this and it's like, I don't know how to use AI to like, I don't know how to write a book. This is how you write a book using AI, right? You just have to know to ask the right questions, which a lot of you struggle with. But that's why I'm here to help you. So boom, this is one picture for where we can get our fantasy setting. So this is our one picture. So we're already getting an idea of what it looks like. Oh, here's another setting of Ezra the alchemist in a Western setting. Kind of weird, right? But it's already ideating for us. So we've used AI. Oh, there's another one. This is sick. I love this picture. That's sick as heck. Look, it's a saloon, all these bustling people. ChatGPT, 20 bucks a month. It's done all this work for me. So here we have a bustling frontier town, a desolate, less desert landscape inside an old Western saloon, right? So now we have our character, we have our setting. What is the premise? Now, I don't know too much about this Western town. Now, this is where we have to start asking the right questions, right? Because the idea of how you formulate a premise is you take the character, which now what do we know about? So, so I'll say sweet. Please summarize Ezra. I want Ezra to be understand in his personality, his desires, specifically his needs, right? Because you have to function it on the core human needs using the seven needs of as a framework. And this is important. This is why this is part of the prolific method. Now, part of how you're going to find the premise is you're going to take the character, you're going to find their core needs. Now, if you don't know the core needs, those certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, love, contribution, and growth. Those are the seven core needs of all humanity. Like all humanity is based upon that. If you take the seven steps to mental mastery, you can learn more about those needs and how to overcome them within yourself because it's all psychology, it's all related, it's all connected. So using the seven needs as a framework, so certainty, uncertainty, what's another one? Significance, connection, growth, contribute, growth, contribution, and love. I want you to create a compelling premise for the story. So I've asked chat to do a few things. I've asked it to please summarize Ezra's personality. Actually, let's do this using the seven needs as a framework, right? So we're first going to decide what his needs are, right? So as the few needs are, like most people, Ezra, his needs hierarchy is already this. We have his needs hierarchy. It's right there. I just did it. Certainty, uncertainty, significance. Okay. Connection, love, growth, contribution, and then love, right? So those are the needs. So go through and read through all of that, where he is in all of that, and then decide, well, which one do I want to deprive him of? Now, these are these needs. We've broken his personality down into those needs. Now, in order to make a compelling premise for what the story is going to be about in terms of our concept, right? We now have to ask, okay, what in this Western ideal is this? So it's like GPT, according to your thoughts, because once again, it's doing all the thinking for us because, we're nerds right now and we suck. That's why we can be successful because successful nerds start with suck. They're just terrible. And obviously we're terrible. We don't know how to think or make it. Now remember, all this is done in my head. I don't need this because, I still suck. I don't suck this bad, but GPT is helping us, right? So GPT, according to your thoughts, what is being what needs are being deprived of in the Western in the setting we've created? That's the question, right? So it's like in this Western setting, it's like these now it's saying in terms of hierarchy, certainty, connection, and contribution. Those are the three premise builders of our story. I don't even care about the rest, right? GPT using this. So our story is about Ezra in this Western setting, trying to find certainty, trying to find connection, and trying to find contribution. That's Ezra and his backstory. So with that, we're going to be like, okay, once again, it hasn't actually written it down. This is what it is. So it's like, can you write a quick synopsis? So this is where we go into the second part of our structure, right? Because remember, at the beginning, we were like, okay, we want character concept, character creation. Now we've done that. We've done the concept, which is the genre and the theme, right? And the setting. GPT did all that for us. We've done the character creation. GPT did all that for us. Now we're going to start doing the plot outlining. We've already done the setting and world building. I think you do character setting and then you do premise, right? So I don't even agree with its order. But then after we do that plot outlining, then we're going to be in writing, right? So, okay, how do we actually take all this? So it's like, can you write a synopsis of this? And I haven't even read all this because we're trying to make a video here, but the challenges, so we have this old Western town with a focus on certainty, connection, and contribution. So, so it's like, can you write a synopsis of a plot where Ezra is looking to fulfill his needs. That's it. That's the question. Make a plot based on, and you can do whatever you want, right? You just want it to summarize. You can make a plot based on, let's do a simple three-act structure. Three-act structure. Because now, once again, the reason I can do this is because I know how to write. So I understand how the questions to ask. If you don't know how to ask, you're not going to make, you're going to ask a stupid story because it's doing all the thinking for you. But if you know how to ask the right questions, it can give you the details. And remember, we haven't even written anything yet. We're just ideating a random story, right? So make a thought based on a three-act structure, right? Um, please base it on the hero's journey as much as possible. And we're doing the hero's journey as much as possible just because that's a simple archetype. Remember, this is if you're a rookie writer and you're trash and you just want GPT to do this for you. Once again, I keep reaffirming that because this is not how I use ChatGPT, but this is how you could use ChatGPT if you suck at writing, right? So please base it on the hero's journey as much as possible. Boom, right? So here's a synopsis. Act the ordinary world. It's telling you all the things that are going in. So in the sprawling expanse of the western frontier, Ezra lives a life of solitude, making his way as a skilled tracker and hunter. Pretty cool. Despite his competence, he feels a deep-seated yearning for something more, a sense of purpose and connection. Super cliche. I love it, right? So then he meets a woman in the nearest town. Oh my gosh, this sounds like a Hollywood movie already. Seeking help to save her community from a ruthless bandit gang threatening their land and water supply. Ezra sees a chance to fulfill his longings for significance and connection. Oh my gosh, you don't need to put that out there, but that's exactly what it is. He is initially hesitant, fearing his entanglement in others' affairs will only lead to disappointment and betrayal, reminiscent of his past wounds. Refusal of the call. Struggling with his inner demons, Ezra initially declines. However, witnessing the desperation of the woman and recalling his own experience of injustice, he finds he cannot ignore the call to action. So, if I were doing this, how I would make it better, because this is super cliche, is have it where he refuses it, then something bad happens and he watches her struggle or whatever, or sees some sort of violent act, and then he chooses to do that. But guys, this is super Hollywood. This is how Hollywood prints movies, because literally ChatGPT cannot write a lot of these guys. So his decision is solidified when he learns that the bandits are led by an old nemesis, reigniting a quest for personal redemption. So he sees the bandits are connected to his past. Oh my God. So cool, right? So here we're crossing the threshold. Trials, 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 allies, and enemies, right? So this is step six as we get into Act Two. So Ezra leads the familiarity of a solitary life, venturing into unknown territories to aid the besieged community. Along the way, he gathers a diverse group of allies: a disgraced former sheriff, a sharp-witted saloon owner, and a Native American healer with deep knowledge of the land. Not bad for Ezra, who's also low-key an alchemist, but I forgot to put that in there, right? But we can add that later, right? So here we have the trials, the enemies, and then ordeal. Act three. In a climatic confrontation, Ezra and his allies launch a daring plan to defeat the bandits. The battle is brutal and losses are suffered. So this is like, what is that? The Dirty Dozen. What's that one Western with all those guys that get gunned down? It's super sad. Um, anyway, Ezra comes to face with his nemesis in a tense showdown where he must use all he has learned about courage, love, and leadership. And then the road back, he contemplates his solitary journey. He has found a home, purpose, and family with the girl. He helps her, yada, 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 the end. Super cliche, I know, but that's what ChatGPT can do, thinking on its own. So now I ask it, hey, chat, hey, can you summarize that whole thing into 12 parts and then do a breakdown paragraph of each major character? So I need to stop asking it. You need to tell it what to do. So first, we have each of the entire plot point put down, right? Now, you guys are writing, why is this so important, right? Because we're going to use the AI for another part of it, right? So here we have Ezra, the main character. We have Anna, the woman. We have the disgraced sheriff, the saloon owner. We have Sarah, the Native American, the nemesis, Black Jack, right? And then his band of thieves. And these are the major characters, right? So now we have the characters, we have the setting, and we have the premise. Once again, this is super cliche in Hollywood, right? But it took us about 20 minutes to make this. Now, how do we go from taking this structure that's super Hollywood and cliche and actually make it a story that's our own? Well, once again, I can teach you guys how to do that more quickly But this is how we use the beginning and we get that structure of that beginning. So what I'm going to do now, though, I'm talking. This is the end of this video. This is part one of how I use AI to make a story. Now we're going to take this structure, we're going to use it into the AI again, but this time we're going to actually use it to write and make something compelling using our own voice and our own tone. Now, once again, if you're a rookie writer, you don't even have a voice, you don't even have a tone. But if you're a proper writer, you know what this looks like. So this is the end of this first part. Come back for the second part, which I'm going to put in, and we're going to talk about how you can take the structure using these questions that we talked about to then build a more compelling story. Anyway, till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Also, if you guys want to learn more about how I create these questions, as well as I use this structure to like build my own book, I can tell you more. I'll make a video about how I used it to make my own book. Not that I would do it if I was a total rookie, but enjoy. Hope you guys learned something new and how you can use ChatGPT from scratch, $20 a month, to help you make at least outline and build the beginnings of a story. This is going to be more in another part, so check out the second part. Like, comment, and subscribe. Put any questions you guys have down. I'd love to hear more from you. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and let me make sure I do this. And most importantly, stay calm. It's just a game. And that's